Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ladies' Number One Detective Agency, Clearing the Paranormal. I am your host, Aimée Clark, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Janet Graham. Hello, Janet.
Hello, May. How are you today?
I am fabulous. Today,
Wonderful.
today is November 23rd, and this is episode number 5 of Series 1. Janet, we have our first case in starting the podcast. One of our
Yay!
listeners, Shelly, reached out and she has 4 properties that she feels are growing concerns. And she would like to get some insights and have them cleared if they need to be cleared. And she's going to join us shortly. But before she does, I've already done a really quick check-in. My head is a little bit stuffy today, so I couldn't do more than just do my usual check-in with my peeps, which you know is all Q&A. Um, so I really wanted to, before we started, know what you're getting. So do you feel that we need to clear all 4 properties?
No, no, I
Okay.
don't feel. I just feel like there's three that needs to be cleared. One that's okay. It just needs a smudging, basically. But I feel one is filled with trauma, and that has to be cleared like big time,
Okay.
big time.
And I actually got there was only 3 that needed to be cleared too. So when we did a little pre, because I always like to challenge Janet. So we did a little quick check-in before we started the recording, and it was interesting um, on what we got. But I'll leave it at that for now, because I'd like to bring Shelly in to talk a little bit about what brought her to us, and uh, and now Shelly, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, ladies. Thank you for having me. Um, I reached out to you because I have concerns about some properties that we own. And one has been the biggest concern just recently because we've been doing some renovations there. And I have really been struggling. I usually go in and help my husband quite a bit, and I have not been able to at all. We've owned this property for probably 20 years, and my husband, it is the house he grew up in.
Okay.
So,
All right.
um,
So before we go into too much more detail, why don't
okay,
we do I sent you sent me the addresses of the properties,
yes,
and we had already chatted beforehand, and you gave me a bit of background about some of them. And now what I did is I just numbered each property. And for Janet, I thought we just, and rather than give her the addresses, we just say location 1, 2, 3, and 4. So Janet, for location
Mhm.
1, and I'm looking at the address right now, do you feel that this is one that needs to be cleared?
No, I just feel like it needs to be smudged.
Okay, that's interesting. And this one actually is your personal home, Shelley. And I got that. At first, I got a no, and then I got a yes. So I like how that worked because um, it kind of ties in with what Janet was saying. It just needs to be freshened up. The freshened up. That sounds funny, but just cleared. The air just needs the air cleared. But there's some really interesting things about your home property that I don't know if Janet knows about. So I just wondered if you're willing to share what's going through that property.
sure. Um, we we've been on this property, I think, 30 years, and we built our home here. And I think overall, I think that the energy has been really, really good. Um, and then probably about 5 years ago, I discovered that there was a ley line um, going through our property. So that was interesting. I did what I could. I went out and kind of researched a bit and did what I could do. And I think for the most part, I think that we were able to kind of stop that energy from that. I don't totally understand all the energies around ley lines. So, we kind of did what we thought we could do, but I believe overall the energy that was kind of, I thought that was flowing through our house simmered down overall.
Okay, Janet, do you have anything you want to share about that?
Wow, I've known you all this time and I never knew that. Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I'm amazed. Um, well, the powerful thing about where your house is located and everything else, it just tells me that there was a way that it's almost like I'm seeing like magnets. Does that make sense?
Well, what we did was we put steel rods at where it was running through our house.
Okay.
So we put one at the front and one at the back. Kind of used dowsing rods to figure out where it was kind of running through the house, and then
Okay.
put steel rods in at the back of the house and at the front because it was running widthwise
Okay.
through the house.
Is there
This,
copper too? Because there's something about copper.
I don't think we use copper. Um, yeah, and I never shared this. Yes, I've known Janet for over 20 years, and I've never shared this.
Well,
Interesting.
well, I'm glad
Uh,
now that we know that you didn't because this just makes it even more intriguing.
yes. Yes. So it was about the 4 or 5 year mark when there was lots of trauma going on around our home, is when we discovered it. It was
Whoa.
going right through our right through it goes right through our through it was going through our daughter's bedroom,
Oh,
which now our son is in.
okay.
How do you get around that,
Wicked.
Janet? Before and after.
Well, I get that the energy that was going through there was pretty powerful and that it was really messing with not only the electronics, but um, the body itself and the electronics in your body, like all the nerve endings and everything like that. And it probably affected their moods and probably affected their thoughts big time. Like I'm willing to bet there was many, many times when the energy was really, really high that the kids had a hard time staying calm.
Yes, I agree. I think we like 2 years ago. I think just 2 years ago. I'm saying, yeah, probably 2 years ago. So 2 years ago is where we put the steel rods at the front and the back.
All right.
Okay.
And I think just to interject here with the when it comes to ley lines,
Hmm.
they're energy centers, they're energy lines that run like grid work all around the earth. And for the most part, um, now those energy lines have been cleared. They have been used for in negative ways. So it's not but having said that, doesn't mean what was going through your house was negative, the but they can be extremely powerful. And if you're not attuned to that frequency or that energy in your own physical body, it can be really, really hard to be in that energy. So it makes a lot of sense what Janet's saying. So it's not that there was negative energy running through the ley lines. It was just that it was so powerful that whoever was close to it wasn't at a frequency that they could handle that amount of energy.
And that makes total sense. And it makes total sense that we did that intervention 2 years ago because things have shifted. And it
Mhm.
makes sense that overall, right, just smudging the house. So that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm also getting, Shell, that you should have quartz crystals on
Quartz.
each side.
Oh, that's
Okay, like
interesting.
put
Okay.
the quartz crystals into the ground.
At the where the ley line is, the front and the
Yes,
back. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think Shelly, we were talking about how you could put use crystals to do a grid, right? Or is that
No.
someone else I was talking to
Yeah.
about that recently? Yeah.
No, but that sounds interesting.
Yeah. So you can create a grid using the crystals. So how many crystals should she use, Janet?
I got 12.
Oh, all right.
12.
Okay.
And it's like 12 in the back, 12 in the front. So 24 in total. And just set them up around the rods. Okay. In a
Yes.
circle.
In a circle.
Yeah, do it in a circle, hun.
And 12 is that magic number, so that's good.
It is.
Mhm.
It's a very
It
tight
is.
space at the
It
back,
only
but
has to be small crystals.
okay.
Okay, like you
Little
look
teeny
at my,
tiny ones. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, little teeny tiny ones, hun,
Okay.
not the big ones. So
Perfect.
you
I
can,
understand. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, if you can get them Lemurian uh they're the record
quartz.
keeper ones. They're good
Yeah,
ones.
What are they called? I'm sorry.
Lemurian record
Lemurian.
keepers. Mhm.
Okay.
Should I show her them?
Sure.
Yeah, those are new. I've never heard of.
Um, are you able to get some around your place, Shelley? Because if not,
Can you
in
see it?
South River, Ontario, there's the Crystal Cave. We can pick some up for you and send them to you.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I can see that. There is actually a new, oh yes, there's actually a new crystal shop just outside of town that just opened, so I can check there first and see
yeah, if you
if
can,
she
just let me
carries
know.
them.
So I'm
Okay,
just putting a little ad in there, little promo for the Crystal Cave in South River. It's absolutely amazing. So, but just let us know, and if not, well, I'll pick up some crystals for you and send them your way. So,
perfect. Thank
wow,
you.
that was really interesting. Thank you so much, Janet and
You're
Shelley.
welcome.
Okay, so location number 2. So I am just looking at the address here, and we did get that this one does need to be cleared.
Yeah.
And do you want to talk a bit about, now I got that this is just going to be um, our standard clearing, which won't mean anything to you, Shelley, but go ahead, Janet. What do you get around location number 2?
Okay, location number 2, it feels like it has um, a lot of um, energy around it that goes, it's bumpy, like it feels like a bumpy energy. So some days it'll feel good, some days it'll feel bad, some days it'll just feel blah. But it feels like there's something, okay, that has been there and been around for a while that keeps coming in and out. So it just changes the energy up constantly. The best way I can describe it, excuse me, the best way I can describe it is like a spirit goes in, a spirit goes out, a spirit goes in, a spirit goes out. But it's the spirit that comes visiting, never stays. So it changes the energy every time it goes in and out. But it's like a spirit that's searching for somebody from the past that used to be there. So I feel like your standard clearing would stop that spirit from going in and out and help transmute it out.
Perfect. So anything else about the property, Janet, before we turn it over to Shelley?
I also feel like there's something buried on that land. I don't know if it's an animal that passed on. It's not a person, but it feels like an animal or something that passed on. That's that's there.
Okay. Shelley.
Okay, so this is the property that my husband grew up in. In the backyard, I could say it's the backyard, is a graveyard.
Okay, so and that's the trauma place too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the graveyard that has our city is from the 1600s. That graveyard was, we believe, the first graveyard for this city.
Wow.
It was left unattended for years. It became a playground for the neighborhood
Wow.
Oh my God.
because it had a big hill. So you had the backyard and all the neighbors' houses, and then it had a big hill, and so you could climb up and down that hill and play on that hill. And the neighborhood kids, that was their fort. That was their, because it was no longer being used for a graveyard in the 70s.
Wow.
But there'd be
Wow.
headstones rolling down the hill. Um, yeah.
Wow. That is so sad for on so many levels.
They have restored it now.
Hmm.
Um, But yeah, the you had to go up the hill to kind of get to any stores up there, like a convenience store. So everybody went up, everybody went up the hill, and yeah. So that you have that, and then uh my husband's brothers had gotten into a scuffle one evening back in the early 80s, and they had gotten into a fight, um, and the one brother got injured so badly that he was taken out by an ambulance, and later passed away.
Wow.
So lots went on. So now as we're doing renovations, and we've had this property probably 20 years and used it as a rental. And I think overall it's been okay. But now that we're doing some deeper renovations, we're tearing up flooring, we're tearing up cupboards, we're like very deep renovations. And that's where the struggle is for me, that I have not been able to be there at all. Like I go in and I go out. I'm probably there 15 minutes. We're usually a much more of a helper. It's just been, and I've told my husband, I said, I'm just really struggling here.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Janet, do you have anything else to share with us about that?
Well, that would be the energy going in, the energy going out, like feeling like there was moments of happiness, then there's moments of deep trauma and going back and forth. But the grave stuff, that okay, that's blowing my freaking mind right now. Because I saw like a grave in the back. I just didn't realize that it was people. I thought it was animals, like a pet or something.
Hmm.
But like logically in my mind, I didn't see it as uh, people that were buried back there. I saw it logically as maybe it could be animals because my logic mind is
Oh,
getting
because you were thinking, how could there be that many people buried in the
exactly,
backyard?
exactly.
I understand what you're
Because
saying.
my brain went into overdrive
You should
there.
have
It's
just
like,
gone with what Spirit said.
it's like, oh, why am I seeing that? Why am I seeing that? Doesn't make sense. So
Oh,
it messes with me.
okay.
No, I just seen the graves. So
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Janet.
you're welcome.
Location 3. Janet, what do you get around location 3?
Location 3. Okay. Um, I feel like somebody wanders around there. Like I feel like it really does need to be cleared, but I feel like somebody from the past is still walking on that land and walking around it and walking through that property in that house, going in and out, in and out. I feel like, ooh, sometimes, okay. And when I say ooh, sometimes, it feels like there was some trauma there. There was some, um, I don't know, it was filled with women or what, but it feels like there's a lot of emotions that still run through that house. Like days that it's very, very calm, and other days where it's like if the person inside the house is not calm, okay, that affects the house. Does that make sense, Shell?
Well, yeah, you're definitely going a little deeper, which I wasn't thinking of. So this is another rental property, but it has been um, in my husband's family for 40 years, maybe even longer. And there was a very old house there, very, very, very old. And there is, yeah, I forgot about that. Uh, yeah, that there was a lot of stuff in that older house. There's a newer house there now that was put in about 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we don't think I didn't think about the whole overall property of I was thinking house, right? But it
Okay.
makes sense because there was a much
Oh,
older house there.
okay. Sorry to interject here, but
Mhm.
okay, this makes sense to me now because when I checked in, I got a no and then I got a yes. Now, oh, that's interesting because why would it be I mean, in the first case, it was a little bit different, but in this one, I can't explain what I was getting. But when I talked to Janet, I was like, I first got a no, but then I got a yes. So it was like that confusion around it. So now it makes sense because of the two properties.
Yes.
Okay, and
I
it's
Exactly.
forgot
more
about
the
that.
land and yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes, which makes sense.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. It's the land needs to be um cleared.
Uh-huh.
And you could do that.
Yep.
You always, yeah, you do a great job of doing that. Um, it feels like there's still from that long, the house before that there was a lot of hardships, a lot of violence. Okay, uh, 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 like I can see somebody being hit with a shovel. I can see um, people pushing each other, and I feel like tempers were very violent back then because what I'm seeing is that the people are not um, like they had such a hard life. They were
Mhm.
really into the energy of anger. So I feel like that property needs to be like a really, really good clearing. And the house itself, clear the house too.
Mhm.
But I don't feel like the new house is as bad as the old house was.
Right.
And that makes
Okay.
sense because there would have been a lot of different families through the years on that
Right.
property. That was a much older house, like really old, and that totally makes sense.
Are there any foundational pieces? Is there any evidence of the old house still on the property?
No.
Yes.
Oh, yes, sorry. There is actually, as you, yes,
Spirit said
yes.
yes.
Well, yeah, at first I'm saying no, and there's like, wait a minute. Yeah, the only thing, oh, okay, so what is left? So there is like this concrete slab with this pole that a sign was on, because at one time it was a store. I forgot that it was
Oh,
a store at one time. That's why that
wow.
concrete slab with that pole and that sign. So that's still there.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then there's also a outbuilding that we left there too
Okay.
for storage.
Okay.
Hmm.
Anything else, ladies, around this one?
Nope.
Okay. So, location number 4, Janet.
Okay. Location number 4. I feel like okay. Let's um location number 4. I get a little rhyme with it. It's like location number 4. Open the door. Okay. I feel like it's been closed up for a while and it needs to be refreshed, renewed. And it feels like we used to have somebody walking that land, somebody that was, um, he seemed to drink a lot because I feel the negativity from that. But I also feel like there was work done there to help clear that. There's um, little bits of the energy just sitting there. That's not so bad, but should be cleared out. But I feel like there was an old man walking there and just he was I felt like he died there. Does that make sense to you, Shell?
Well,
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
before she dives in, this is the one that I got that I had to do my big clearing on
Mm.
because of something around the land. Maybe not necessarily the house, but the land.
It's the land itself, yes. And the land faces the water, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make perfect sense. And it just feels like there was a lot of um, um, fighting around there because I'm seeing fighting, I'm seeing anger, I'm seeing uh, just, and I'm seeing old whiskey bottles. It's like somebody had a heck of a temper and they would create or start fights over nothing. And it would cause so much chaos, it wasn't even funny. But didn't we do some work on that years and years ago?
I don't know.
Uh,
I guess Shelley needs to talk about what this location is, so you'll.
yes. So this property we purchased about 11 years ago when our children were younger, and for probably up until about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, um, I think we felt the energy was really good. Well, me. And then about 4 years ago, I could just feel it was really yucky. And then I could see, sometimes I could see glimpses of somebody walking, but there was nobody there. And it was like a man figure with some type of hat. I could see that there was a hat on, something like a fishing hat. And so yeah, we did do some work to try to get him to leave that property. In talking with my husband's aunt, who has been around this area for many, many years, she never liked that area. She didn't like that area. She just didn't like that waterfront in general because it's a river, very fast moving. And she said that lots of people lost their lives in the water. And she also mentioned a couple years ago that she was pretty sure, because she was quite young, that that was a battlefield. Like there was a battle of some sort there,
That
and
would make sense.
lots of people lost their lives. Um, but yeah, we were there. I was there. We were there for years before I actually felt. So we were there already probably 5 years, 6 years, but just summertime. We just was there in the summertime. But now we've been really struggling on refreshing it, doing anything new to it. We're just held back with that property. We've not been able to move forward, even though we keep speaking it over this last 3 or 4 years, but we have not been able to do anything. And something that I used to really love and take the kids to, I go maybe once or twice in the summer now. So definitely something has
So
stopped.
can you get to the property at this time of year, Shelley? So if
Yes,
we clear it, then you're able to go check it and see how you
yes,
feel. Okay, perfect.
yes.
Okay, Janet, do you have any other insights over this?
Well, that would make sense because I could see all these people in the bush and like running around with sticks, but the sticks could be guns.
Or could it even been, uh,
Bayonets that are on the end of the gun.
arrows? I mean, could have been lots of
Arrows.
different. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
exactly. Because I just felt like there was a lot of fighting and yelling. But when you're in a battle, you're yelling and screaming, right?
Yes, and it makes me wonder if because the kids were little and we were just so busy with them, always busy there on the weekends, playing, lots of noise, lots of activity, and I did not notice it until they were older and they weren't there. It was just my husband and I, so the energy has shifted and different, right? The kids were older, they weren't coming out there, and so it was quieter. And then that's when I noticed, I guess, get glimpses of a man walking about the property.
Oh, wow.
So the work that you did to try to get rid of that, was that before or after? Like you saw the man and then you did the work to clear it, or since you've cleared
Well,
it, you see the man? I'm a bit confused.
I haven't seen him, but I haven't been out there much. I still have not, even
Oh,
though I
okay.
still haven't been able to go out there, like, and spend any length of time. Like, I get excited, like, okay, because it is beautiful. It's
Hmm.
on the river and it's an old cabin. That cabin is probably 100 years old.
Oh, cool.
And you
Um,
can see the big boats going by,
yeah, the ships
the
go
big
by.
ships.
Wow, nice.
And we've have
Okay.
had the dream of building something better that we could use as retirement. And um, yeah, that just hasn't been able to come forth.
Okay, well, let's see what happens then. Um, Anything else that you want to share about that property, Janet or Shelley?
I just feel like this one's going to be, um, it's going to be a tough one for you to clear. Like you're going to do it and you're going to do a good job of it, but there's going to be times when you're trying to clear it that it's going to take longer to do. Okay. So it's like you're going to feel like you're transmuting out a lot of people.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be
Okay.
using my partner in clearing. I was going to say partner in crime, but that doesn't sound good. Bill and I are going to be doing that one, and I already know which one I have to do for this one. And
Good.
now you've confirmed for me that what it is, because it's like there's different elements to this one, so we might actually do uh, combine a couple together. So yeah. Well,
Beautiful.
ladies, this has been really interesting. Thank you so much, Shelley, for reaching out.
Oh, I appreciate all the help. I'm really excited to see what comes forth. We've been really stagnant for quite a while. And so, yeah, I'm excited to have some clearing and some movement forward. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Bill and I are going to be getting together over the next couple of days to do the clearings. And I don't tell people when we're going to do it. And there's a few reasons for that. Sometimes there can be interference, both for us and then for the clients. Once we've done the clearings, though, I'll reach out and I'll let you know that it's done, and then I'll get you to check each of the properties. Let me know what you experience, and then I'd love to have you back on with Janet, and I'll see if we can time it so Bill's on at the same time, and then we can share what we all got, and you can tell us what you're experiencing after, and we can go from there.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thanks to all our listeners for joining us, and tune in next week to see what happens. And you ladies have a great rest of your day.
You
Happy
too. Thank you.
Thanksgiving, Shell.
Thank you.
Okay. Just let
Bye.
me. Bye.